Welcome to the Market Mystics podcast, where we discuss what's happening in the cryptosphere and trading on Earth as it is in heaven. Buckle up and huddle on while we dive in and get weird. Here are your hosts, Joshua and Kim.
Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to our St. Patrick's Day edition.
Happy St. Patrick's Day. We're going to talk about him a little bit later.
We are. And we're both wearing green for not necessarily because of St. Patrick's Day, but because we have some pretty exciting news for you guys.
Yes. Stay tuned. We'll talk about that near the end. Before then, let's get to what we always talk about. Market updates. What's happening?
Yeah, so the markets are certainly participating in the St. Patrick's Day green trend.
Yes.
We've got, I'll just run through a few quick numbers for you guys, but Bitcoin's up 2.3% in 24 hours, Ethereum's 5%, Avalanche is 11%,
Wow.
Cake is 20%, and then I wanted to find the highest mover in 24 hours in the top 100, and it's a coin called XIDO, and it's up almost 50% in 24 hours. So certainly been a day for green.
That's amazing. You know what? I love when crypto participates in holidays.
Is Christmas like the bipolar holiday because it's sort of red and
because
green?
It's red and green. Yeah, it's really got to go both ways. It just has to.
Oh man, that's great. So some of the things that are helping the market move, I would say, is just in general, I think we've had enough down days. People are ready for some movement, but also Ukraine, their president signed a law into effect that legitimizes crypto, particularly Bitcoin, but it's a very positive front from them. I know that based in the conflict they're going through, they're trying to raise $200 million through crypto assets for their goals. And so this is just a piece of legislation that really helps bring legitimacy to that cause and the ability for them to really use it as a government entity. So I think that's great. I feel horrible for some of the things that the Ukrainian people are going through, but it is sometimes during crisis, innovation is born, and I think we are seeing that happen a little bit around the world, with Russia also adopting it to some degree. And sometimes it is these difficult situations that produce innovation and produce forward movement. So that's a encouraging thing. There's also been news that China may be a little bit more friendly towards things, like not necessarily accepting it, but maybe not quite the harsh stance they've had. And that's boosted some of the markets over there. But yeah, like there's a handful of things going on around the world that are just, they're pushing the world towards a digital currency place. And currently Bitcoin is the most effective tool to use for that.
Yeah, I think it's wild. First of all, in this day and age, to hear China and friendly put together, like it's an interesting concept all in itself, which I won't get into. But also, it's always wild to see how China's stance on crypto affects the entire market every time they say something.
I have to think it's partially due to the fact that they're such a digital society anyways.
Yeah, it's kind of wild. I don't know. So back to the Ukrainian thing, I have a question. So are they legitimizing cryptocurrency for the government to be using, or is this for all of the citizens as well?
I believe they just adopted it as
like
a
an
legal
acceptable
tender. Yeah.
currency.
That's my understanding. I could be wrong on that. Do your own research, but yeah, that was my understanding of what I read.
That's good. That's good.
Mm.
Um, okay, let's move on to actually, I'm just gonna go ahead and say this. We say it in the intro every time, but let's get weird.
Yeah.
Okay. So I want to talk about St. Patrick a little bit just because it's St. Patrick's Day. It's the 17th of March. And I will say, we are your market mystics, which means there's some mysticism involved here. And one of the people that I've heard about all my life that I have been learning was a mystic is St. Patrick. And though I'm not Catholic, I have learned some things about him. And I just wanted to kind of touch on it just because he's kind of our fellow weirdo. You know what I mean? And we're
Yeah.
celebrating him today, or probably a lot of people are, even if it's just because you're wearing green. In one way or another, you're celebrating this guy. So, St. Patrick, he's deemed the patron saint of Ireland, but he has been credited for single-handedly driving out all of the serpents or snakes out of Ireland. And this is back in like 500 AD.
Mm.
And to this day, there are still no snakes that reside in Ireland. You can't find a snake there.
It's
So I think
amazing.
that's interesting. My very favorite story about him is it's recounted in this poem known as The Deer's Cry or St. Patrick's Breastplate. But it tells a story of how the saint used a power to transform himself and his companion into a wild deer so that they could escape ambush while on their way to preach at the Hill of Tara, which I think is amazing. And if you think that these saints of old didn't operate in the mysteries, this guy was a shapeshifter and he was doing it for the Lord. So if you think it can only be used on a side that is not good, I would encourage you to take this back to the Lord and ask him how this was possible then, because the whole reason that they shifted into deer was to be able to go and preach the gospel and walk out the destiny that the Lord had for them. So I say, let me find it real quick. I sent this to a group of our friends today, and it's just kind of goofy. But I made a little meme that said, "May your shape ever be shifting." And I mean this wholeheartedly. Like, let's be the people who can like step out of whatever identity we've created for ourselves and
Mm.
into the identity that Yahweh has created for us, and be able to change as needed in order to fulfill what he's called us to fulfill.
Yeah. It's, we call ourselves the market mystics, and mystics really just means, or mysticism is really just the belief that you can have a relationship with um, God or the supernatural that is a personal relationship where they share information and technologies and all sorts of things with you about specific situations. And it's amazing to me, we often will veil stories and be like, well, this is how Yeshua operated when he was on the earth, just because he was the son of God, and this is, how he functioned. And we put so much separation between what we are capable of and what Yeshua was capable of. But also sometimes when we read stories of the saints of old, I mean, St. Patrick's not the only one, but he was an awesome one
Mm-hmm.
who had their stories about them levitating and shape shifting and teleporting and just crazy food. I heard a story once of a group of monks who had a Thanksgiving dinner, and afterwards they prayed over the turkey bones and brought the turkey back to life. It's just like it was never killed or never cooked and never eaten, and like it's just kind of wild to think about some of these stories. And we want people to seek heaven's wisdom for how to invest their money, how to be good stewards, how to be good sons in your father's kingdom. But it isn't just limited to the market. I believe that
Exactly.
technology is available in every area of your life, and how you operate with your family and your friends and your community and your businesses, and in your trading as well. So, that's today we just want to specifically honor St. Patrick, our fellow mystic, in his life and role. And since we call ourselves mystics, we want to honor those who came before us.
Yes. It's so good.
Mm.
Good stuff. So here's our big news. Do you want to share it, Josh?
Sure. We now have merchandise.
Woo-hoo!
Woo!
If you're looking on our video, we have some of it on. We've got some t-shirts that say "Let's Get Weird" with our logos on them. We have t-shirts, there's cups, there's phone cases,
Hoodies.
swimsuits,
Yeah.
uh, sweatshirts, all
Yeah, we've
kinds
got
of stuff.
yeah, it's really exciting for us. Uh, Not that, we really thought merchandise would be a big part of what we do, but it's just fun to have
It is fun to have.
it's fun to have some cool and interesting merchandise with our logos and our the phrases that we have. One of the ones we if you saw our unboxing video we posted last night, you saw some of the Enter the Cryptosphere shirts as well, which is a really cool design. And yeah, so we're just pretty excited about all the new things that are going on. The podcast is doing well. We have merchandise for the podcast. We have a website for our business, which has all the information about the podcast on it as well.
And the merch where you can buy it.
Yeah,
And more
yeah,
information about us personally. Like if
that's
you want to
true.
know more about who we are, you could go to the website and learn more about us.
Yes,
Yeah.
but it's all. Kim and I were talking before the show, but we're just in a season of acceleration in our own lives where some of the partnerships that we have internationally are really starting to take take root and really starting to grow. Some of the projects that we've been working on locally are starting to have some more movement with them, and it's just an exciting time. Like the world is sort of in this volatile state, but just like the markets, like it's the volatile times that create opportunities.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Exactly. Okay, so one more thing about the website and the merchandise. I want to say this on here, but we're doing giveaways of the merch too. We have stickers, we have cups that we're giving away. And these cups, there's a mug and there's a pint glass, and these are exclusive. You can't actually buy them. So if you would go to any of our social media, market.mystics, um, you can sign up for the giveaway and you may win something, and it will be completely free for you. And you'll have cool merch, and it might just say, "Let's get weird."
But it's very fitting for who we are and what we
Exactly.
represent.
Exactly. Exactly.
Yes. So yeah, check out the website, check out the merchandise, check out the social medias, enter for a chance um, to win some prizes. For the rest of March, we're doing 10% off the store. You
Oh,
can
yeah.
find all that information on the social medias. And yeah, there's just a lot going on.
True. As you may have noticed, we only did one podcast this week. We did not release an episode on Monday. And we do want to tell you why. There's a very good reason why. And that was because we were attending a Crypto and the Bible conference put on by our good friend Francois, whom you might know from our bonus episode. And it was so good, so informative. And let me just put my stamp of approval on it here and say, if you're listening and you're wondering how it is that we're linking up our faith with trading in crypto, go listen to the recording of this conference or go watch the video. We will post the link in the description on the podcast, but it is so worth it. It's free, and it is by, again, it was Francois who did it, who we know, love, and trust in this whole realm of things.
Yeah, it was truly an excellent time. I would say there's maybe an hour, 15 hour 20 of teaching, and then there's some question and answers that came in afterwards, and it was just a really fruitful time. I was excited to see the turnout of people showing up for it. It
Mm,
was sort of kind of an impromptu. There wasn't a ton of um, forethought or marketing. It was kind of just spread word of mouth, and ended up being a really great event. And
mhm.
I certainly took some things away from it, and I need to go back and watch the replay again so I can just sort of absorb some of the heavy revies that he was dropping.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay. I think that wraps it up for today. Thank you for
Yeah.
joining. We'll see you next week. Go get some merch, go sign up for some giveaways.
Check out Francois. Yeah.
Okay, if you don't do any of the other things, please check out the thing from Francois.
Right. That's
Valuable.
most important.
Absolutely.
All right. See you guys later.
All right.
Thank you for listening. Join us every Monday and Thursday as we discuss trading on earth as it is in heaven. If you want to connect further, follow us on social media at market.mystics for Instagram and TikTok, and search for Market Mystics on YouTube and Facebook. If you still need more, follow the link on Facebook to book a coaching appointment. Until next time, see ya.